Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. Now before we get into the main topic of today's video, which is about GBR and the card crafting cubes and sort of what I'm doing in that area and some tips I have for you guys in maximizing your boost points and stuff like that, I want to address a lot of the community's reaction and feedback in yesterday's video and in the video before that. So the other day's video, but 2 days ago, and then also the boycott at large, because I've seen a lot of comments about this. I got a lot of questions about this on the live stream, on Discord, etc. So I wanted to discuss it with you guys and sort of give you a bit more information, give you a bit more context, and give you a bit more feedback. Before I do that though, I want to shout out 3 groups quickly. One, I want to shout out the group of people who were very supportive in the comments, you know, congrats on the sponsorship, or like, game's pretty cool, I'll check it out, or whatever, like, you know, all that good stuff, who were supportive and who liked the video and hey, this is helpful, whatever, about the uniform upgrade spreadsheet. The second group I want to shout out to is the people that maybe were skeptical or confused and who wanted answers and maybe were wondering what's going on. Boycott MFF, but he's sponsored by Netmarble, what's going on? But they didn't jump to conclusions. I want to thank you. Third group I want to shout out is the haters who, no matter what I say, I could provide, you know, an ironclad alibi and they would still come up with their own conspiracy theories. The earth is flat, yada yada yada, I'm a double agent, so on and so forth, because you guys are the best. You guys really are the spice of life, because you come up with the most hilarious stories on what's really going on. Wink wink, nudge nudge. So yeah, boycott MFF. There's a boycott in MFF. I made a video 2 days ago leaving the Star Creator Club. If you guys didn't watch that one, I'm just giving you guys that quick recap about it. And then yesterday I made another video, which I was really excited to make, about the uniform buying guide for Black Friday. And I made one last year. I was super excited to make that one. I even put my face in the title. It was about the smash or pass, right? And I had a lot of energy for that video last year, but this year I wanted to do things a little bit differently. I wanted to do things, you know, I don't want to make it the same every single year, right? So I went ahead with the video that we made with the spreadsheets, but we also had the sponsorship from Netmarble. That just happened to be, that just coincided to land on the day after I made the video about leaving the Star Creator Club. That wasn't intentional. I don't have anyone that's scheduling my videos. I schedule it all myself in most regards. But yeah, that was basically just a coincidence. But basically, the way that it goes is on this channel, I'm just going to throw up some PvP here while I'm talking. On this channel, you guys probably know, if you watch all the videos or you watch most of the videos, I don't do very many sponsorships. I did this one for A3 Still Alive. A few months ago, I did the Lego Legacy sponsorship, the 2 videos. Before that, I can't remember the last sponsorship I did before that on the channel, but it was a while ago. We did one for Amino years back, and there's a couple of other ones, but it's very few. It's like 1 or 2 a year. It's very, very few. And that's not by accident. It's not like I don't get any sponsorships. I get sponsorship emails almost every single day, but I turn down most of them because it's just not the kind of content that I want to make. If I wanted to, I would make tons of sponsored videos and I would share tons of sponsored games with you guys, but it's just not what I want to do. I want to wake up and make Marvel Future Fight videos. Once in a while, I want to make videos about maybe other Marvel games, Realm of Champions, Future Revolution, maybe Miles Morales, or the PS4 Spider-Man game, right? Those are the kinds of videos that I want to make. Every now and then, a sponsored game comes around or a new game comes out that I really want to show you guys, and then it so happens once in a while that I also get a sponsorship for that game. And those games I choose very carefully on a variety of factors, but most importantly, I choose those games based on me having fun with the game and genuinely think that the game is good. I wouldn't want to, you know, do like a Raid Shadow Legends sponsor with you guys, because I genuinely don't like that game and I genuinely don't think it's good. And also a game that I think you guys are going to like. So I weigh these factors, and then I choose sponsorships very carefully. And I also just don't choose very many sponsorships, because I just honestly don't want to do that many sponsored videos in a year or in like in a short period of time, because you got to jump through a lot of hoops and you got to do a lot of stuff behind the scenes. That leads itself to the next piece of information that I'm going to give you guys. For some of you that don't know how it works, a lot of stuff is done behind the scenes, right? With these sponsored videos, a lot of these games are coming out for the very first time, or they're coming out with a brand new piece of content. So for the Lego Legacy sponsorship, you guys remember it was the Ghostbusters update. Now, because I was being sponsored to do that, they had to tell me ahead of time, which requires me to sign an NDA, which requires me to keep my mouth shut. Because of that, because I'm setting something up for a future video, they have to contact people that they want to sponsor weeks, sometimes months in advance. So oftentimes, I would guess in the majority of situations, any channel that you watch that does sponsored content, they had set up the sponsorship weeks or months in advance, ahead of time. And you've already agreed to it, you've already signed a contract, whatever, so it's a done deal, right? In the case of A3 Still Alive, same thing. Believe it or not, and again, this is where some people are just gonna kind of close their ears, but believe it or not, I agreed to do the A3 Still Alive thing before I even knew we were getting a symbiote update. I didn't even know, right? So then the symbiote update comes out, or like the sneak peeks start dropping. I get really hyped for it, and then the patch notes drop or the APK drops, and we all are like, oh, and your stomach starts turning because you're like, man, they goofed up the game. But those two things are basically mutually exclusive, right? The only two things that intertwine between those, or the only two things that intersect, cross, is that I covered A3 Still Live on this channel and I cover MFF, and both games are made by Netmarble. But you know what? Contest of Champions is made by Kabam, but it's owned by Netmarble, right? So when all those Contest of Champions creators are playing that game and they're spending money on it, oh no, they're supporting Netmarble. Right? So it really doesn't have any connection whatsoever, right? If I'm playing Seven Deadly Sins and I'm spending money on that game, yeah, it's made by Netmarble, but I sort of gave you guys that analogy in a few videos recently, where it's like, you don't drink Pepsi, you think Pepsi's a bad company, so you boycott Pepsi. Turns out all these other drinks that you have, Mountain Dew, Sprite, whatever, those are all owned by Pepsi too. So it's inescapable, first of all, but also it's just not necessarily the same thing, right? It's not necessarily the exact same thing. So just because you watch Spider-Man 1, Amazing Spider-Man 1, you really like that movie, and you bought the DVD, all this stuff, you're supporting it, and then Amazing Spider-Man 2 comes out and they kill Gwen Stacy, and it's a terrible movie. No one's gonna blame you for that movie being terrible, right? The two things don't have, right? It's two separate things, right? So yeah, not the best analogy there, but you sort of kind of get what I'm saying. With although the games have the same parent company, they're completely different development teams that are making these games, completely different development team that's making other games, right? And so it's really the team, it's the MFF team. I know I say Netmarble sometimes because it's just easier to say that, and it's just something we've grown accustomed to saying it. But the most accurate thing to say, and the one that makes the most sense in this situation to explain things and why they're different, is to say the Marvel Future Fight dev team. But it's just takes so long to say that, the MFF dev team, right? And now some people are going to very cutely remind me that my voice changed during the video yesterday, right? And you're right, my voice did seem more enthusiastic. You know why? Because I was really excited to show that spreadsheet to you guys. Just like 2 weeks ago, when we got the Spider-Woman sneak peek, and we got the Absolute Carnage Scream sneak peek, and we got the Null sneak peek, I was over the moon. I was super excited. Yeah, because I was really excited for the update, and so were you. No one had a problem with my voice being changed then, right? So really, that's completely irrelevant. It doesn't make any sense at all, right? It just serves the narrative that some people are trying to push about me being a sellout or whatever, which is obviously just a big crock of baloney. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about that and give you guys a bit of context, give you guys a bit of background. Basically, I didn't have the choice when to talk about A3 Still Alive, when to do that part of the sponsorship. I did have a choice about when I was going to make the video leaving the Star Creator Club. I guess I could have done it a little bit earlier, but I really didn't want to do it any later than I did it, because the later I do it, the more time it gives Marvel Future Fight to stall, and I don't want to give them time to stall. I don't want to give the dev team time to try to wait us out and try to get us to quit the boycott. So I'm still boycotting, right, in case you're wondering. I know I didn't have it in yesterday's description for the video because I had to put a whole bunch of other information in the description for yesterday's video. You got to be professional, right? So that's the only reason why it wasn't there yesterday. It's not some sort of grand conspiracy, guys. It just makes sense when you think about it logically and common sense. I'm not talking to everybody when I say that, by the way. I'm just talking to the people who were like screaming bloody murder. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just wanted to explain this to you guys. I just wanted to give you more background information and context on it, because it may seem confusing or it may seem this or that, but it's really just bad luck, you know, to agree to work with Netmarble and then have MFF devs completely drop the ball in this update, which I really didn't expect them to do, because the last 4 updates were pretty good, right? We were upset about the ABX rewards, but otherwise they had been doing a great job, especially with character reworks. So really wasn't expecting them to go this far south with this latest update, and it was just bad luck and bad timing, right? And then on my part, and I've told you guys this before, I don't talk about the boycott in every video because I don't want to make the channel really downwards and negative. I did that 3 years ago with the Ultimates update, and I didn't want to repeat that mistake again. So that's why I didn't do it. And so you can go back in videos in between, right? I did a boycott video, and then we talked about Miles Morales, we talked about Gwenpool, Spider-Gwen, sorry. We talked about Scream, and I try not to mention the boycott in every single one of those videos. I mentioned it in most of them, but not in every single one, because, you know, I'm trying to balance what's good about the update and what's still good about the game with what we're trying to get done in the long term for the boycott. So that's basically just what it boils down to. Hopefully you understand. Again, there's still gonna be some people that are gonna downvote the video. They're gonna say all this stuff. They're gonna make up all these stories, yada, yada, yada. If you have more questions for me, and if I can answer them, I'll do my best to answer them down below in the comments. But I just wanted to have that open discussion with you guys, because I believe the majority of you are understanding and mature enough to, you know, for us to have this conversation and for us to sort of understand each other. And I wanted to clarify a little bit more, because I did see people that were genuinely confused, and they were very polite about it, and they do deserve an explanation as fans of the channel who watch. Now, finally, 10 minutes into the video, I really apologize, I'm very late on this, but I want to get to the main thing about this. Now, there's actually not that much to say, so it's kind of nice that I was able to bundle these two topics together. Well, I just kind of forced it, but basically what I'm doing for the card crafting cube situation, because we are trying, okay, I'm still boycotting, I'm still trying to get Marvel Future Fight to remove the premium card component from the re-rolling of the cards. Now, we're also trying to get the CTP Reforge CTP cost removed. We're trying to get the crystal cost removed from re-rolling the colors on the premium cards, basically all of the premium costs. We already got the premium card cost removed from this step, because before, if you go back to my PK videos, I had to sacrifice one of these same cards, and you had to use an extra one every single step. So step 1 would be one of these extra Guardians P cards, and then for 2 stars it would be 2, and then for 3 stars it would be 3. So it basically worked out to 15 of the premium card and 15 randoms. Now it's just 30 randoms. So we're basically like 25% of the way there. But we're still trying to remove the CTPs from the CTP Reforge, which is another 25%. We're trying to remove the premium cards from the card re-rolling, the card color and stat re-rolling, and then that's another 25%, 75. And then we're trying to remove the crystals from the card re-rolling, which is 100%. And then we want to get extra crystals for players daily and extra comic card farming for players daily. So those are still the goals of the boycott. I still want those things, 100%. However, even after they remove all that stuff, we're still going to have this system, right? So if they remove all that stuff that I just mentioned that we want removed, and if they give players an extra 2,000 crystals a month, which would be awesome, and they give players an extra mythic card to farm every 2 days, that would be fantastic. That would fix most of the problems. That would make this system, you know, usable. Now, if you don't like this system and you want it completely removed, that's on you. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're not going to completely reverse it, right? That's like asking them to completely remove the ultimates from the game. They weren't going to delete those characters, right? That was never an option. So I don't think that's an option personally. If that's your personal crusade, that's your personal boycott, that's cool, but that's not it's not what I'm trying to do. But once they remove those premium costs, we're still gonna need these these card crafting cubes. So, you know, hypothetically and hopefully in a very short amount of time, in 2 weeks or less, they're gonna, you know, say, hey guys, we understand the boycott, blah, 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 we're gonna change this. And then I can go here and I can start crafting these cards and seeing what extra stats I get. Because there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, with this system if you remove the premium components and if you give players more materials to farm. You know, there's always going to be power creep in the game. Now, if the power creep is accessible to all players and it's not that expensive, like let's say a brand new uniform, you know, we weren't upset. Like, let's be honest, we weren't upset when this uniform came out. We're upset that we haven't seen this uniform again. But we weren't upset when this uniform came out. This uniform was a huge power creep, but it was accessible. It was cost 1,000 crystals. So that's fair. It's free to play friendly. It's fair. You know, the character's not the most free to play friendly. He's kind of a pain in the butt to build up, but you know, it's accessible to all players. That's what we want, right? That's what Marvel Future Fight is founded on. That's the foundation of the game, where it's accessible to everybody, the vast majority of things. And for a brand new system like this that has this much of a power creep, it has to be accessible to everybody. So yeah, once it's accessible to everybody, you're gonna need these card crafting cubes. So I've been grinding them up. I've been saving them up, as you can see. I mean, I have these here, and I'll make a video when I get up to 600. But I also have these down here. I have one of these because I played Null once. I'm not doing that again. But I've got 6,000 of these. I'm trying to farm almost 500 a day, or about 500 a day. And so I want to give you guys a couple of tips here. I do recommend that you farm these, by the way, because like I said, I don't think they're going to remove the systems entirely. So you're going to want to start building this up now so you don't have to play catch up later if you want to participate in the system at all. You don't have to, obviously. It's your opinion. It's your choice. But what I've been trying to do and sort of train myself to do is when I wake up, again, depending on how much time you have to play, of course, but when you have 5 minutes to play, 10 minutes to play early in the day, your day, try to get a run of Giant Boss Raid in and try to use up 2 of your boost points, which is 70 boost points, two of the levels, which would equal 70 boost points. Then if you can, maybe half an hour later, you'll have enough to do another one level by going up to 35. So let me show you what I'm saying. Let me just zone in here, create a lobby. So I build up my team, whatever. I select my team. It's a very strong team, of course. So this is what I mean, right? So this is what I do right away. And then it would shave down to 30 boost points. And then maybe half an hour later, when it's up to 35 again, then I'll do another run at 35. So I'll get a total reward count of 5 times in the first like hour that I'm awake. And then later on in the middle of the day or at the end of the day, I basically repeat the process. If you do this twice a day, you'll guarantee. So you only have to do it technically twice a day within like a 1 hour interval of each other. So like 1 hour in the morning and then 1 hour at night, right? Kind of thing. You'll guarantee yourself the 10 premium card tokens. 100% you're going to get those 10 tokens, or you should, unless your RNG is really bad. And then you should get at least like 200-300 of these crafting cubes. And then if you want more, as you can see, I've done it twice and I've gotten 306 cubes. I've only played GBR a few times today, I think 3 or 4 times. And now then you have the choice of either farming out the rest of them with the remaining, time you have and energy you have, or not. But I do recommend getting these because, in my opinion, I don't think they're going to remove the crafting system entirely. And like the ultimates, right? What I told people to do when they introduced the Shield Lab processor, I said start saving up. Sort of echoing the same idea. Start saving up this pink antimatter. Don't get this crap. But start saving up the pink antimatter, because then when it comes time to use it, you're going to want to use these, which means you also have to look at the other components. And so we were talking about saving your Nornstones, and when you get Nornstone selectors to actually select purple, select the universal Nornstones. That was actually a tip that I was giving people 3 years ago. It's crazy, right? And then of course save up your gear up kits, but some players, they have a lot of gear up kits, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, so those are the tips that I have for you regarding managing, sort of like macro managing your daily boost points, and then finding time in between. Honestly, I would rather sacrifice my boost points for GBR at this point and get these crafting cubes than what I usually do. What I usually do is I just use them in the dimension missions to get more energy off. Now you are saving 40 energy because it's 8 times 10 versus 100 versus 12 times 10. So it's 80 versus 120. But that 40 energy is really not a lot. I can sort of manage that and sort of cut my farming down in other areas. I've actually had to play less Danger Room because I'm farming more in GBR. Some people can't afford to do that because they need the biometrics or they're trying to hunt for a specific character. So you still have to weigh the value of certain things. But yeah, maybe don't farm the Epic Quest tracking missions. Maybe sacrifice some bios here for a couple of weeks to farm those card crafting cubes. And then hopefully they'll fix the system. The boycott will be lifted. And then we can sort of approach the system and try to find out the best strategy to sort of get the most out of the system and sort of the best cards to upgrade. I don't want to talk about that stuff yet because the boycott is still in effect for me, and I just don't want to. I don't want to spend time, and I don't want to dedicate time and dedicate my sort of like thinking to a system that doesn't yet work for players. So when they've removed the premium components from the systems, and when they've given us more premium currencies to farm, like crystals and comic cards, then I will dedicate time to figuring out, okay, which are the best premium cards to craft, what stats should you be looking for, and sort of how to combine things in a way that's going to work the best for you and for us as the players. So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about all that stuff. I actually recorded this video last night rather than recording in the morning, which I've been doing lately because I wanted to have a super sharp mind for everything that I wanted to say. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting me as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.